Hello and welcome to another edition of Get to Know. I'm Scott Levin in the Channel 2 studios, joined by a good friend of mine, Tod Martin, who is the president, CEO, and the founder of the Martin Group, the Martin Agency. Tod, what is the exact name of your company? Is it the Martin Agency or the Martin Group?
Yeah, there's a little bit of brand confusion out there, Scott. It's a great question. It's the Martin Group. And our branding, though, just holds the name Martin, our logo itself. But we pretty much go by the Martin Group, and if not TMG. People have shortened it to TMG as well. But that's brand confusion. We don't want to go there.
No, we don't want to go there because you are the man who drives the agency's entrepreneurial spirit. I'm jealous. I've always, I went to school for marketing and advertising and all of that stuff that you do. You are living the dream, my friend. You formed your company. Tell everyone, I think it was in 2001, right? Tell me what happened back then.
That's correct, Scott. Yeah. Coming on 20 years in June. Super excited to celebrate that milestone with a lot of amazing, great things happening now, but that have happened, throughout the journey. But back then, I ventured out on my own. I sort of always had the notion that I would do that. I was a creative guy working at various firms in town here. And, in the back of my mind, I always knew that I wanted to venture out. So I did. I took that big step. Had some expenses at that time. So it was a big step, but I had the faith that I could do it. I had been doing it long enough. And, I knew I could hang that shingle and get it going. So yeah, the Martin Group started with one person as the group, and that was me.
So let's go back a little bit before we get to current day, because we got a lot to talk about. Let's talk about where you came from, where you started. You're a Western New Yorker, I believe, right? Where did you grow up?
That's correct. I grew up in Amherst, New York.
Right.
I grew up here playing hockey. I had some talent there. I had some athletics talent, but I also had an artistic side of me. And that's what I put to most use here is based on that artistic side. I just pursued the arts and design and graphics and communications. It ultimately led to a career in advertising.
So where'd you go to high school and college? What'd you study?
Sure thing. So I went to, it's long gone, but it was a co-ed Catholic high school at the time. It was called St. John Neumann. And St. John Neumann is where Univera corporate offices live today, behind the Walker Center.
Right off of the highway, right?
And so that was the high school years. And again, I had a great mentor there, a guy named Henry Schmidt, and he was my art teacher. But I played hockey for St. John Neumann, competitive hockey up in Canada and across the Northeast here, but. Kept pursuing. My mom kept actually pushing me down that artistic path. So I always listened to mom. And so I ended up playing hockey at Brockport State. And I was a fine arts major. So this is, again, this sort of unique combination of skill set, I guess. But I was having a blast doing both. And I ultimately, my fine arts pursuit while I was playing hockey at a high level at Brockport State, it was identified at some point by some of my professors at Brockport that I was more of a graphic designer than a fine artist. So they helped me define that and pointed me in a direction which landed me back at the University of Buffalo. The hockey coach there, I was applying a little bit late, but he got me in. So I was off and running in a design program at the University of Buffalo, and back playing a little hockey. So.
And where was your first job? Where was your first break when you got out of college?
So, that was an agency back in the day. It was called Thaler, Klink and Quinlan. They were out in the UB Amherst area, and it was 1,000% my dream job. So it was awesome that I landed there. The business here is a little bit incestuous. It's small. You bounce around to different agencies as you go. You get recruited and you make some moves. So I did that over a period of a number of years. So from Thaler, Klink and Quinlan, I got together with a guy named Tom Bowling, who was running some agencies at the time, and I rode Tom's coattails for a bunch of years. I ended up with Alden Schutte at a place called Schutte Travers Collins, and then we branched off. Bob Travers, Bill Collins, and I branched off, and we started Travers Collins Partners. And I was there for about 7 years. So it seems like that's a lot of years if I do the math, and plus the 20 of the Martin Group. So I've been at this a while.
So you were with Travers Collins, I know, and then I think you merged, right? Didn't they merge in with your company?
Yeah. Well, actually, I ended up acquiring Travers Collins Partners some
So
years
here you
later.
are, you acquire the company you were working for. I mean, that's the dream.
It was cool. It was cool, and they were awesome, and they were great guys, and they were mentors of mine, and they gave me their blessings on the way out to start my own, as they had done, and they supported me all along, and when it was time for them to sort of move on, it was a natural fit to take their book of business and buy their business at the time. So it was awesome. It gave my firm a really great lift, added some really great clients to the mix through that acquisition. And then fast forward a couple years later, I acquired a small public relations, public affairs firm with my current partner, Matt Davison. And so we've been on a little bit of a run to build and grow the business and really bolt on the best talent and the best people I can scout over the years. And that's what's made it successful. Just yesterday, I don't know if you saw the news, but it was we acquired another firm in Albany. We have an office in Albany. We acquired another firm. We announced it yesterday, a public relations, public affairs firm called Gramercy Communications. So that's sort of our strategic path to some of the growth is finding the best talent out there and
I believe you sold some of your ownership, I believe, to, I'm trying to think, it was Hearst. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Right.
Yes. So yeah, we have some equity partners for the first time, and that happened as of January 31st, 2020. We closed just
Right before the pandemic.
Before COVID. Yeah, it's crazy. Feel very fortunate that deals are hard to get done, and we got one done, and it's a win for everybody. But really excited that we were able to close that with the pandemic.
So Todd, explain to the folks at home exactly what it is that your company does. You have, I think, 50 employees now. You've grown like crazy. You have a lot of the top brands in town. What is it that you do? I know we like to call you a leading strategic branding creative firm, but explain to the folks at home what it is that you guys do on a daily basis with a brand.
Sure. So I just have to correct you only because we have about 100 people, so we're about double that size. We have an office, corporate headquarters here in Buffalo. We have an office in Rochester that we have about 40 folks there, and we also have an Albany entity as well. And we are a fully integrated marketing communications firm, Scott, and basically what that means is all of our services in the communications field are under our roof, with all the various disciplines and the experts in those various disciplines working together to create integrated marketing campaigns for our clients. So yeah, it starts with a very strategic process. Sorry, I keep looking at you instead of the camera.
That's okay.
I'm new at this. It's certainly a very strategic process for branding and positioning our clients relative to their competitive landscape. Mm-hmm. So we carve that path out for them strategically. We document that on paper. We really have a roadmap to what we're looking to communicate and how do we want to differentiate our clients with the campaigns that we do. So from there, the creative juices kick in, and that's where the team gets together and starts fleshing out ideas and kicking them around and coming up with brilliant creative to really stand out from the crowd and the mass media that's out there. You want to stand out, but you want to be very much on target and on strategy with your message. Mm-hmm. So, depending on that client, it varies. Some of it pushes the envelope. Some of it is just brand storytelling that's on a more of a conservative level. But we're across the board. We're very much focused in our vertical markets. Okay, so mm-hmm. Sports marketing, the likes of New Era, Under Armour out of Baltimore, Puma sneakers out of Boston. So we're bringing in some national players into town, which is awesome because it really fuels the economy here. I'm hiring people, we're creating jobs, and it's awesome. So we've been able to attract the big brands right here to Buffalo.
And top talent, I might add, also.
100%, and that's what matters. So from that sports marketing, we jump over to healthcare. We have a vertical very strong in the healthcare space. The likes of Kaleida has been one of our top clients for the last 10 years. We do all the work. Any television commercial you see, any billboard, anything digital is coming out of our shop, right? We're thinking of it, we're strategizing it, we're executing it, and we're putting a campaign into the market through digital and traditional mediums. The other side of that, Scott, just real quick, I'll just finish with the verticals that we're serving. Higher education, we do work for Cornell University. We do work for Syracuse University, locally, Canisius College here, and others. And then, I would just add the financial institutions we do the work for, from branding to public relations, not-for-profits. We do all the work for the Ralph Wilson Foundation and others. And food and beverage, I'm sorry, that's one of our big ones. Rich Products and Wegmans is one of our largest clients.
Right. I mean, these are all household names, and we all know, Puma. We all know New Era. Let me ask you, Tod, what makes a great brand?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
You look very serious as you're asking me that.
I'm a news anchor. That's right.
I think you're a great brand, Scott.
Thank you.
Listen, well, I think the company holistically is the brand, right? So what makes that company great is their products, their services, and how they differentiate in the marketplace, their culture, how they run their business. That becomes a brand. How they serve their communities. I mean, all these elements come together to create the essence of a company's brand. And then once we understand that, once we craft that, we then help them tell their story, because so many of the companies we engage with, they have a great story. It's on us to really pull that out of them and articulate it and creatively manifest it into these campaigns. And it's really cool stuff. I mean, it's what
it's
we
a
do.
lot of fun, right?
It really is. I mean, we have a ball. We do great work, and that attracts great talent and great clients. And after 20 years, Scott, of the Martin Group, again, the Martin Group was a group of one, and now there's 100 with 3 offices in Buffalo, Rochester, and Albany. For me, it's a blast. Yeah, I mean, there was nights. Trust me, I started at the Walker Center, and there was nights, come home at 4 a.m. and back in the chair at 7, putting up fires because I was like flying by the seat of my pants. Now I have
you got a
great
staff,
partners, I have great leadership. I mentioned my partner Matt Davis on the PR side. My other partner, my longest standing associate, and now equity partner, is Lisa Strock. She's our chief operations officer.
And you also, I know that you purchased an historic building not far from here, Channel 2, and you renovated it, right?
Sure did. Yeah.
That's a big project in and of itself.
Yeah, Scott. And that's part of our brand. That's part of our brand image, is being in downtown Buffalo and theater district, in the center of it all, in the middle of it all, in the middle of the conversations, creating a work environment that folks are attracted to and they want to be in there, and it's collaborative. So for me, creating that perfect environment for our firm that really spoke to who we are as a brand and how we operate, and creating an atmosphere that is pretty cool, I would say. I had Canon Design come in and got 18,000 square feet and start from scratch and sketched it up, and my creative juices started flowing. But they're amazing, and they took the ball and ran and created something that is really special. I got to have you over if you haven't been yet.
But I can't wait. I would love to come over.
You come through and you feel like, which is exactly what I wanted to paint the picture of. It feels like, perhaps you're in New York, Toronto, or one of the bigger markets when you walk in. But the facade is classic, historic.
It is a beautiful building, yes.
So that's a home run. I'll tell you what. What's really fascinating is all those associates and all that office space we have. myself and my CFO, Tim Capola, are the only ones in there pretty much daily. Everybody else is working at home and remotely.
Unbelievable.
So
It's
I have
amazing.
this beautiful office, brand new, and I'm enjoying the view as well.
Probably another 4 or 6 more months. Before I let you go, and I appreciate your time tonight, Todd, tell everybody your family, you're a family man, married, bunch of kids, right? I mean, I don't know, what do you get, 20 kids now? I'm just, no.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, that's great. I'm so glad you asked, because I certainly wanted to talk about my great wife, Ryan.
Right.
Who, we've been married for 10 years, and we have 3 beautiful children. Ryan is an orthodontist. Her office is out on Transit Road. So she's a working, practicing orthodontist, has her own practice, and we have 3 young kids together. Hudson is 9, and I have twin girls that are 7, Kennedy and Layton, and they're all at St. Greg's in school. So Ryan drops them on her way into the office. And we're having a ball. We're having a blast with these little ones. Now, I'm a little bit old to have ones that young, but we'll talk about my older kids just for a second, who I think, you've been exposed to it and knows. My son Chase is
who's working for you, I believe, right?
Works for me. He's doing a great job.
Right.
He's been with us for about 5 or 6 years at the firm. And
Fallon's an attorney now. She's a big shot attorney in Buffalo.
Fallon, your previous babysitter.
Right.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
For employing her when she was younger.
Right.
She's now, an attorney at Hudson Rush. She just passed the bar. She's doing phenomenal. And my youngest son, Reed, is just graduated from Manhattan College. He was a lacrosse player at Manhattan College, just graduated with a BA in economics, and we're on the a job hunt for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll happen soon.
There.
So before I let you go, also,
a few of them off the.
That's right, off the page. I get it.
Yeah,
I get
correct.
it. Couple more questions. Where's your dream vacation, Todd? And the second, to follow up to that, where might we find you if you on 1 or 2 of your favorite restaurants in town?
Oh wow. Yeah, so the dream vacation is just tropical paradise. I love the sun, Scott. I think the last time you and I had any kind of dialogue, we were floating in the pool, soaking up some rays.
That's true.
I absolutely enjoy the beach, the golf course, the sunshine, the palm trees, and all the above. So we spend a fair amount of time in Florida, and we'll continue to do that. Ideally, maybe it's the Bahamas, let's say.
Yeah.
Warm and sunny.
Give me a couple of restaurants that we might find you at here in Buffalo.
It's the tried and true. We've been around a long time, so it was, of course, Tempo. Not so much anymore, but Hutch's you can find me in.
Right.
Between the bar and the front in the restaurant area. I love what Hutch has done there with expanding, and it's always amazing, and your friends are always there, right?
Right.
That's why I like to go out. And the other is Sienna's in the neighborhood here, and Chuck does such a great job down the street here.
So I got to ask you one last question.
Sure.
For those watching this a little bit later, the 2020 Super Bowl just finished. What was your favorite commercial during the Super Bowl? I'm sure you watched them. Did you have a favorite?
Yeah, I didn't watch. Look, I have a couple associates that are really gifted in in assessing, and they've been on the airways the last few days, going through that with some of the stations and such. But on a personal level, I lean more towards tugging at the heartstrings.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was the adoption, the
Oh, that was a
swimming.
great one with the Olympic athlete, the Paralympics.
That was incredible. And,
Yeah.
And then the Budweiser's getting a lot of buzz as well. So, look, I think it's a incredible showing of creativity and talent. Good or bad, we can all be critics, but
Right.
Those are very strategic. They're very thoughtful. Whether they're goofy or not, they're goofy for a purpose, and if they're not, they're smart and strategic for other reasons.
Last question. You could
Sure.
live anywhere. Why do you live in Buffalo? What is it about Buffalo that you love?
It's a giant living room, and I have relationships and friends that I've just built over many years. You're one of them, Scott. But it's the relationships is what drives me every day, and the people I care about, the people I trust and know and rely on each other. It's a great community. We give back to the community. We all do. We're all important players in this community and play a role to make sure it succeeds. And it's amazing what's happened here. I didn't know I would see it in my time, what the evolution of Buffalo and what great pride we have in it. I always did have the pride, but now more than ever, what this community has rallied and done is quite incredible, and I'm proud to be here.
And I know you're active on several local boards here too, Todd. It has been great to get to know you, and everybody knows all your work that we see in the newspapers, on the radio, and on television, and on digital. And it's just great to let everybody get a little peek inside what your life is like, Todd.
Scott, I appreciate you having me on.
It's great. Tod Martin, the CEO, founder, president of the Martin Agency. Todd, great to have you on here. Great to get to know you a little bit better. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Scott.
Appreciate it.